friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you all of my face products in my collection. So this is another episode of my makeup collection series where I take you through a category of makeup and do like kind of mini reviews on all the products that I own in that category. Today's category is obviously face-based products, so that's going to include setting powders, primers, concealers and foundations, and I'm going to get right into it because I have loads of products sitting next to me and I'm really excited to talk about them all. Also, I have some ink on my arm, as you can see. That is from class today, so don't worry about that like mark, that's just some ink that I got on myself from some pens. I'm going to start off with some products that I'm excited about project panning soon, and then I'm going to get into my like more favorite products. So the first thing I have to talk about is this Rimmel Stay Matte Primer. This isn't the best primer I've ever tried. It's one that I've had in my collection for quite a while, and so I don't even know if they currently make this anymore, but yeah, I have like that much left in it, so it's almost gone. It's not a bad primer per se, it's just like not a life-changing one, and I wouldn't like really rave about it. So yeah, this is a primer that you've been seeing me use a lot on my channel recently just because it's something that I'm trying to get through and get use of so I can use it up, but it's not my favorite. So yeah, that's the first primer I have to show you. Another thing from Rimmel is their Lasting Matte Foundation. This is in the shade 103 True Ivory. A bit about my skin tone, obviously it's like a light, sometimes it can get like a slight mediumness, like I can get tan in the summer, but generally most of my foundations I get in my lighter shade, and then I just go really ham with the bronzer to get to my like tan skin tone when I am tan. So yeah, this matches my like normal lighter skin tone a bit better. 103 True Ivory is good yellow undertone for me. I have yellow, olivey kind of undertones. But the thing I don't like about this foundation is actually the scent. It has a very strong like plasticky silicone-y scent, which I find unpleasant. It says long lasting and lightweight. I wouldn't totally agree with lightweight. I feel like this is kind of a thicker foundation. It comes out as like almost a moussey consistency, and it does blend into the skin into almost like a powdery finish, but I do feel like it is quite present on the skin, and it's not something that I feel like melts into my face, which is something I reach more for or like prefer the look of from a foundation. It isn't like a bad foundation, and like obviously my preferences would be different to other people's, but not my favorite. It has got a smoothing effect though, so I've got to say it does smooth the skin, and maybe if I had like more acne or something, maybe this would be a better foundation for me, because I do feel like this does have full coverage. The concealer that matches it, the Lasting Matte Concealer, also from Rimmel, this one's in the shade 10 Fair Ivory. I do actually prefer this to the like foundation, even though these two go together. I think the concealer isn't as like terrible to me as the foundation. Not that the foundation's terrible or anything, but I do prefer the concealer. It's like nothing negative to say. It doesn't have that extreme strong smell that I found the foundation has, but it's not my favorite concealer from Rimmel. I feel like Rimmel has lots of really good foundations and concealers, so these are not my favorite ones out of all the ones they make. I'm just going to go right next to me. I can see some other Rimmel products that I actually really like, so I want to talk about those instead. First one I wanted to mention was the Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-Hour Foundation, the one with the red bottle. I feel like they've had this product for ages. It's one of their like staple products that Rimmel sells, and this is also in the shade 103 True Ivory, which I think I'm wearing this foundation right now. Yeah, I am. And yeah, I feel like this looks really good on the skin, really good lasting power of this foundation. It's buildable coverage and just a really affordable, good foundation. I would totally recommend this. Easy to apply, comes out of the pump, buildable. You can also sheer it out if you want a more natural finish, kind of a satin look on the skin, but you can like obviously make it more dewy by using like a dewier primer underneath, or layering some like dewy cheek products on top or something, or you can set the face with some powder. And like I feel like this is a really good, you can dress it up, dress it down kind of foundation. Another foundation that I also love from Rimmel, I'm going through all the Rimmel ones first, is the Lasting Radiance Foundation. I have like this much left of it, and I haven't even had this for that long. This one's also in the shade 100 Ivory, and that sounds like a lower number than 103, so you'd think, you know, this is going to be a lighter foundation, but I'm not sure if it's going to come up on camera. This is actually like kind of a darker foundation, so I've been trying to use this up in summer just because when I'm tan this fits my skin tone, but when I'm like starting to get pale because winter's coming here in Australia, I feel like this starts to look a little like, I don't want to say orange, but like a little tan on me. So yeah, this is strangely like a really dark shade range. Like the shade range runs a little darker than the usual Rimmel foundations. I really like the Lasting Radiance line. It's the updated version of the Wake Me Up foundation, and I used to really love the Rimmel Wake Me Up foundation. It was also the one in the orange lid. It's kind of their like Radiant range, and this one I think is really nice. It has like a fresh scent. It's not as fresh as it used to be, but it still has that kind of like cucumbery undertone in the scent, and yeah, just a really good foundation. Kind of a dewier finish, obviously lasting radiance. But you can also set it with powder. I often do, and I don't find that it looks like too dewy or anything on the skin. Kind of like a nice satin skin-like finish, and I feel like this melts into the skin really nicely. I also really like these two concealers from Rimmel. These are probably my favorite concealers from Rimmel, and some of my favorites from the drugstore. The first one I have to talk about is the Rimmel Match Perfection concealer in the shade 10 Porcelain. I used to have the matching foundation from this, but I've actually panned it recently, so I don't have it to show you guys. But I'll be talking about that in an upcoming mid-yearly Project Pan empties video, which is really exciting, and I have lots of products to talk about in that. But this concealer is really good. I feel like this has quite a decent amount of coverage, and it comes out like this. It has this little brush tip applicator, which probably isn't the most hygienic, but it's just going under the eyes. I don't really use this as a spot concealer, and if you want to use this as a spot concealer, you can always squeeze it out on the back of your hand or on a palette and use a brush and go in like that to keep the like applicator clean. This is kind of a lighter shade, but I find it's really nice, brightening, melts into the skin, doesn't crease too much, and I just really love this concealer. I've repurchased it many times for a reason. It's just so good. I have like this much left in it, and I love it so much. I also think this is a really convenient one to take in my makeup bag, just because I really like squeezy products in my makeup bag. I kind of don't like it taking products that have a pump in my makeup bag, just because the product in my makeup bag sometimes sits like this and it isn't necessarily going to squirt out easily because it's not settling at the bottom, whereas if I have this standing up on my desk at home, it's easier for the product to disperse out of the nozzle. Whereas with squeezy tubes, I like taking those on the go with me, because even if they're lying down, I can always squeeze out the product and it's easy to use. The next concealer is the Lasting Radiance Concealer, also in the shade 10 Ivory, and this matches with this foundation, but you can see there's quite a shade difference. This is quite a bright concealer and is probably more comparable to the Match Perfection concealer. Also, by the way, the Match Perfection range from Rimmel, I feel like it kind of reminds me, like in marketing, to the the Maybelline Fit Me range. But yeah, I prefer like both ranges. They're both good. So yeah, they're very comparable. Although I like this concealer more than the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. I know, controversial. They kind of have different pros and cons, but I like the Rimmel concealers a lot. But yeah, even compared, this concealer looks a little bit darker. I just feel like the Lasting Radiance range does run a little bit darker than the rest of Rimmel's shade ranges. This is a really nice brightening concealer. I'm just going to sniff it to see if there's any scent. No, if anything, maybe like the slightest cucumbery scent. It's nothing like horrible or anything. I had a Rimmel concealer that they've now discontinued, and it had kind of like a sunscreeny scent in that like stereotypical sunscreen way, and it wasn't pleasant. This concealer kind of is reminiscent of that. I think this is the replacement of that old concealer that was discontinued. Not my favorite. I prefer this. This melts into the skin better. I actually do prefer over this the old version of this, which is now gone because this one has replaced the old version. I feel like the old version really melted into the skin so nicely. But yeah, I really like this as a brightening concealer. I don't really use this as a spot concealer so much, but also I don't really break out as much as I used to anymore. This is really great underneath the eyes and around like areas that I get redness. Just a really great brightening concealer, and even though it is like slightly darker than my other like concealers from Rimmel, it is lighter than the foundation, so it still does like give that brightening effect. I do think it is buildable, and if you got a shade that wasn't like lighter than your skin tone, I do think you could cover like, you know, pimples or any discoloration or anything with this. I just have a shade that's like lighter than my skin tone, so I'd probably be highlighting my pimples if I use this. But if you got a shade that matched you better for your actual skin tone, I'm sure you could use this too. Okay, let's go into some primers. I have two primers that I'm going to talk about really quickly because I haven't used them before, because I've been using up this other primer currently, so I haven't opened these two. But these are two primers that I'm really excited to get into. Sometimes I have products that I'm using up and I don't let myself open new products until I finished a previous product, just to get things moving. I don't want to have like a gazillion products open in my collection at one time. Sometimes I like to finish things off before I open something new, even though I've like already purchased it. This is the NYX Angel Veil Primer, and I honestly got this because I liked the idea that it would like blur me like an angel. I don't know. We'll see if it works. I'll let you know when I do use it. And then this I got because of the TikTok hype and also because I think it's really cute. This is the NYX Marshmallow Primer and it comes in this really cute like matte little bottle and apparently it's going to smell like marshmallows. I'm really excited to use this. I think the packaging is really cute. I think the concept's really cute. I love when my face products smell nice. I would much rather something smell nice than smell like, you know, where's that foundation that I talked about earlier? You know the one I'm talking about, the Rimmel one that like kind of smells bad to me. I'd much rather something smell like fresh or like nicely sugary scented or something. So yeah, really excited to try this out and I'll definitely be telling you all about it when I do try it out. You'll be seeing it in loads of videos. Here's a random powder to talk about. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Powder. As you can tell, I'm going in no particular order. I'm literally just grabbing whatever's next to me, but this is the Maybelline Fit Me Powder. I have the shade 10, Fair Light, which I think is, I want to say this is the second lightest one. I feel like they might come out with a 5 as well, but I'm not sure. This is already pretty light, and I do feel like this has a nice yellow undertone, or maybe a neutral one. It just doesn't look too pink for me, which is what I care about. It's a loose finishing powder, and it's really affordable, 20 grams. There is so much product in here, and I've been using this for quite a while now, and I feel like there is so much product left. I love this. It's a really good available setting powder. I feel like a lot of the time the setting powders that people talk about on YouTube aren't as available in Australia, like the Coty Airspun, I believe. The Airspun like setting powder in that the orange circular container, that isn't available here in Australia, so you know that's really sad. And like I'm going to talk about the Rcma no color powder later. It's kind of like less available. It's only available at like more makeup-y places, whereas this is available at like every drugstore, or as we say here in Australia, every chemist has like Maybelline, and like, you know, a lot of supermarkets sell this, so it's a lot more available, and it's just a really decent setting powder. Definitely one of my favorites, and when I use this up, I'll probably repurchase it because it's affordable and it works really well. It really blurs the face. I can't complain. Favorite. Okay. Let's talk about that Rcma no color powder. As you can tell, I've used up loads of this. I've had this for years and I kind of stopped using it for a bit just because I know I love it so much. I don't want to use it all up. Sometimes I find this a little bit of a cumbersome tube because it comes in the infamous not infamous, it is just famous, the famous Parmesan shaker, and it's kind of difficult to get product out of this because you literally pour too much out every time because it's a Parmesan shaker. So what I do is I decant it into little tins. This tin is an old Burt's Bees cuticle cream tin, and what I do is I literally pour out from the Parmesan shaker the setting powder into the tin. So I have a little bit of setting powder in this tin, which probably looks really dodgy, but then I can put this in like a travel makeup bag or something and take this with me on the go. And even just like having it in like something flat like this, it's just easier to dip a brush into and like tap off any excess. This is a really good powder. It's my favorite. It looks like white, but it goes on pretty translucent and it brightens anyway, so it works for me. It also comes in like yellow shades and other shades if you have a different skin tone to me, but I really like the white one because I just feel like it's perfect. I feel like you can never apply too much because if you do, you can just brush it off and it looks perfect every time. Smoothing, it says the perfect universal setting powder for all skin types, no color powder, contains absolutely no pigment, no perfume, no fillers, and will never alter your foundation shade or your natural skin tone. I totally agree with this. I love this so much. It's my favorite. When I used to go clubbing, when I like first started going clubbing, this was the only powder I would wear. It never gives me flashback and I swear by it. That's why I have stopped using it every day because I realized that if I didn't change things up, I would never try something else, and I like trying and finding new favorites. But this is really good. In Australia, you can get this online from places like, I don't know, I want to say like Beauty Bay sells this. I think I got mine from Beauty Bay. You can also get it from Scotty's Makeup if you live in Sydney, but you can usually get it at like Makeup or SFX stores. If you can't figure it out, there's always Beauty Bay. Okay, let's talk about some like kind of more subtle things. These are a BB cream and a tinted moisturizer. This tinted moisturizer was given to me as a gift by my mum's cousin. It's Laura Mercier tinted moisturizer in the shade 2W2 Nude. I believe this is actually a pretty good undertone for me, even though this was gifted to me. She'd like used this previously and had decluttered it, and I received it and I love this. It's a really beautiful tinted moisturizer which just gives the perfect amount of coverage without being like really coverage. It doesn't look too makeup-y on the skin. It's just like a little bit of something. Sometimes I really like to pair this with like just a little bit of concealer and just a little bit of mascara, and I feel like it's really easy on the go look. Just a bit of lip gloss. I feel really cute. And yeah, really like this. You probably noticed that all the products that I picked up for myself are really affordable. This is kind of a little bit less affordable if you buy it on Beauty Bay, but I don't know. The Maybelline Fit Me is still good if you can't find the other one. I'm dropping things on the floor. This one's really good if you can't find the Rcma no color powder. Anyway, this is a high-end product, and you might be like, Emily, why do you never get high-end like face products? It's because I go through face products so frequently, as you'll probably see in my future project pans. I go through so many face products because I wear makeup like pretty much every day, and so I find it wasteful if I buy high-end face products for myself, because I use a lot of base product and I go through so much. So I was really excited to get high-end face products as a gift, because it's not something I would ever buy for myself. If I go through like 6 foundations a year and I just get them on like half price from the chemist, it's going to be like $60. But if I get one foundation a year and it's from a high-end place, that's already like $60. Like, that's so expensive. So I'd rather get lots of foundation that is all good and a lot more affordable. But yeah, I'm really excited to have this in my collection because it's so nice, and I have been enjoying it. A drugstore kind of like sheerer foundation that I've been using isn't a foundation. It's this Bourgeois Healthy Mix BB cream. I love the Bourgeois Healthy Mix range. It's one of my favorite ranges for face products from the drugstore, and it just smells so delicious. It has like a fresh, someone described it as yogurty. I kind of want to call it peachy, because yogurty, it kind of sounds like dairy and it doesn't really smell like dairy. It's got like a peachy fresh scent, but I don't really like peaches. It's not in like a too juicy of a way. It's just subtle, it's fresh, it's really nice. This goes on perfectly, it just is smoothing. Mine's in the shade 01 Light. It has a nice like neutral to warm undertone, so it doesn't look odd on my skin tone. Sometimes like some foundations and what am I going to say, BB creams from the drugstore come in like not that great of shade ranges, and then a lot of the shade ranges for BB creams especially, I feel like can be a little on the pink side. I don't know, I've just had a lot of BB creams in the past pull pink on me, and so this one's really nice because it does pull like neutral to yellow, and I just feel like this fits me so well. It just gives your skin the perfect amount of boost. You look glowy and radiant. It's definitely a dewier product, but you know, that's fun and you can always set it. So yeah, really love this, definitely a favorite. I'll be sad to see it go when I use it up because it's one of my favorites. This is currently in my makeup bag that I'm bringing with me everywhere. Some other things from the Bourgeois Healthy Mix range. I have so much Bourgeois Healthy Mix stuff because it's definitely my favorite. I have 2 of their Healthy Mix powders. Both of these are going right now because, not going, like are on use right now because I just love these so much. These are some of my favorite set powders, like pressed powders that I've ever had. This one is in the shade 01 Vanilla. Has a domed lid, and then this one is in the shade 02 Golden Ivory and it has a flat lid. I believe these are from like different times or different releases, but I feel like the formula is pretty comparable. Nothing that crazy different about them. They add a little bit of coverage, a little bit of brightness, but nothing intense. Sets the face, blurs the pores, just really nice. Underneath they both have a little mirror and a little puff that I never use, but maybe I should, I don't know. I just like to use like a duo fiber like setting brush with these. Really nice. I set the whole face with these and it looks good. Love them so much. And they also have that classic Bourgeois Healthy Mix scent. Some more Bourgeois Healthy Mix stuff because I'm a big fan. These are actually repurchases. I've had these previously and I loved them so much that I picked them up recently when Priceline had a half price on all makeup sale. These are some of their this one's a Healthy Mix Serum Foundation, so it's a gel foundation. I've had this previously, really loved it. In the foundations, I'm always the shade 52 Vanilla. And then this one is the just plain foundation. This one is a little bit higher coverage, I believe, compared to this one. It's been a couple of years since I've repurchased these, just because I wanted to try out some other products before I went back to my faves, but these are a classic. Love them so much. I've been enjoying them for ages and I'm excited to open these back up once I finish some of the Rimmel foundations that I'm currently getting through. Love this range, smells so good, looks great. I feel like it kind of looks like when you put on foundation, go out into the sun, enjoy some time in the sun, and then you come back in and it's just like you're glowy. That's what these foundations look like immediately. As soon as you put them on, you look like you've been having a perfect glowy day in the sun. Like, this is so nice and dewy. You can always set them down, but I don't feel like they're too sheer either. A lot of like, I don't know, glowier foundations I feel like can look a bit sheer, and those I don't feel like look too sheer. Like, I could wear that to the club with a bit of concealer and setting powder and I would feel like I have a full beat. Like, I can also make them casual, but like you can also dress those foundations up. I really love them. Holy grail. Let's go with these concealers here. This is a concealer from Maybelline. This is the Instant Age Rewind Eraser, and this is a really famous concealer. Everyone loves this, and I have it in the shade 100 Ivory. I love this concealer, except I don't love this doe foot applicator. Nothing against the shape of this doe foot applicator, like I just do this and then go down the side of my nose there like I usually do, but I just feel like it's not the most hygienic application. I have seen some people get like a tweezer or like even use their nail and rip off the sponge, but I feel like then it's like a harsh application, and then I have to use like my finger or a separate brush every time. I don't know, this is like easy. I feel like without the sponge it looks really harsh, so I don't know, I just don't want to do that. I've used up about half of it so far, and I really like the way this product winds up and down. Because it winds down, I feel like you're going to be able to get all the product out of the tube as it twists down. So I think that is a really good design. I had one of the Bourgeois Healthy mixes previously. One of their old foundations also had that design in the bottle, and I just felt like that was really practical because it's really easy to use up all the foundation that way. So yeah, really like this concealer. It's a cult favorite, and it took me really long to get on the bandwagon, and I'm so glad I did because it's a cult favorite for a reason. This is really good. Okay, so this next product is from L'Oreal, and it's from their Infallible line, which I really love. I really like the Infallible products from L'Oreal, and I've had heaps of them in the past and panned them all because I love them so much. This is the More Than Concealer in the shade 236 Vanilla, and this is the concealer that I'm wearing right now. It's a very bright concealer. I feel like maybe this is like kind of light for me. It's also very high coverage. I'm just looking for one of my other concealers to compare the shades. No, they're both quite bright. I feel like it is a little bit lighter than my other concealers though. I usually go for things that say vanilla because I feel like vanilla products typically have a warmer undertone, and that's the kind of undertone I'm looking for, like a light with a little bit of warmth. But yeah, this is a bit bright on me, but I do find it's a really fresh concealer. It has a really nice fresh scent, as a lot of the L'Oreal Infallible things do. Really nice, yeah, it has that really nice L'Oreal like fresh scent. It has a really large doe foot applicator, which I find really enjoyable. I feel like it's very plush when I'm applying it, just really nice application. And I like the like sturdiness of this tube. It's a little bit like shorter and chubbier than some of these other tubes, and I feel like it's such like a cute little product. I do like this concealer, and I've been enjoying it a lot recently. It's very high coverage, not as natural of a concealer though. So this is more of a full beat, set your concealer, have a full face. I don't find I have any problems with flashback or anything with this concealer, but also I feel like I'm not someone who has a lot of issues with flashback a lot of the time if I do my makeup right. But yeah, love this concealer, totally recommend. Another thing from the L'Oreal Infallible line is the Infallible 24-Hour Matte Cover Foundation, and this is in the shade 135 Radiant Vanilla. So again, love the vanilla toned face products. This one I've used up like half of, but I'm trying to hold off on using it every day because I want to save this for like special occasions, like if I'm going out for like clubbing or like, I don't know, like a party, or like if I have a cheer competition, just because this is such a good foundation for a long wear situation. It really lasts all day. The 24-hour matte cover is no lie. This is matte, this lasts all day, and you'll be beat all comp. This is such a good foundation, and it's one of my like hard, long wearing kind of foundations that I will reach for. I've had loads of these in the past. This is definitely a repurchase. When this one disappears, I'll probably repurchase one like this or another L'Oreal Infallible matte one because it's really good for, you know, intense high coverage situations. It's a long wear foundation, lightweight. I don't find it looks very cakey. It just does the job. It's really good. It sits thinly on the face, if that makes sense, but it doesn't melt into the skin or look weird. It just like is a beat. Two more products that I didn't actually get from Australia. So this one was from my mum's cousin, and she gifted this to me because she was decluttering some makeup. This is an Anna Sui, I hope I'm saying that right, foundation, and this is really beautiful. I haven't used it that much because I don't want to use it up because the foundation bottle is so pretty, but I guess I could just use up the foundation and keep the bottle. It's so gorgeous. It's in the shape of a heart, and it has all these beautiful details all over the bottle, and I just think it's stunning. Even the lid has all these details all over it, and on the back it's just stunning. It has a foundation pump. It comes out quite nice. I feel like it has a higher coverage, medium to high, but more like buildable, and it matches my skin tone well. This is the shade 102, and it's just the Anna Sui liquid foundation with SPF 20. Yeah, I really love this. It's really beautiful. I'm trying to read if there's anything on the bottom to like differentiate from the other foundations in the range. I'm not sure much about Anna Sui as a brand. This is made in Japan. It's really beautiful and it matches my skin tone well. I feel like it has kind of like a more radiant finish though. It's like a creamier foundation. It's very beautiful though, and I really like it. The last product I have to talk about with you guys here today is this product from a brand called, I don't know how to say this, Nueve, Noive. I'm not sure. I think it's a Japanese brand. I'm really guessing. I bought this in Taiwan for 160 Taiwanese dollars, like yuan, and it's really cute. It has a little mirror on the inside, and I take this in my makeup bag with me on the go. I apply it with this little Gucci powder puff, and it's just a setting powder. This is a really popular product for students in Taiwan, apparently. Because it's very affordable and it mattifies the face really easily. It's just like a little blotting powder and I love it. I set my face and my under eyes and stuff on the go with this. It's a really cute little compact. I like how it's a little like egg shape. I think it's really cute and I enjoy it a lot. This is only available in Taiwan. I have never seen this in Australia. If you know where I can get this in Australia, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, it's really cute and it's just a really decent kind of stiffer setting powder. Like when you rub your finger in it, not a lot comes off, but it does the job and it's really good, and I can see why it's a cult favorite product for students because it's affordable and it gets the job done. But yeah, those are all the face products and base products that I had to talk about with you guys today. I also of course have like random samples that are always on the go. This is like an example, like this is like a Tarte Shape Tape sample blister pack that I have. I always am getting samples and trying new things. But yeah, that's everything that I have at the moment. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any recommendations or anything to say in general, please pop them in the comments down below, and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. I'm always uploading and I'll see you in a future video soon. Thanks for watching guys. Toodles!